Let's get into Stephen Colbert. This guy gets aced, and immediately the left erupts, which is a tell on yourself.
It was like Colbert saying, Hakeem, you like to quote Biggie Smalls. What do you usually say?
Oh, my God.
Like, that was the interaction. And Hakeem Jeffries took that clip, and he was like, he always asks tough questions.
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago Senator Dick Durbin. And now Dick Durbin has a new scheme, a government takeover of your credit card. Today, consumers have thousands of choices in credit cards, all with equal, strong security. But Durbin's plan is less competition and less security. And that means more risk for your credit and your identity. Tell Republicans in Congress, stop Dick Durbin's takeover of your credit card before it's too late.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please.
Keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs.
It's time for our main event.
Good Tuesday to you. Welcome back to the Ruthless Variety Program. I am Josh Holmes, along with Comfortably Smug, Michael Duncan, and John Ashbrook, left to right across your radio dial as always. Folks, we got a banger for you here today. We got the White House Press Secretary, Karoline Leavitt, in the house.
Let's go.
She's going to be here joining us shortly. And, well, it hasn't escaped our sort of inputs that the Libs have, well, they're not doing all right, fellas. It's not going well. It's been a real spiral. We cover it on a day-to-day basis here on the Variety Program. But if you've noticed the events of the last week or two,
I mean, it's going great. Like, it is raining content right now. I can't remember the pace it's been like this before.
I guess I keep on trying to figure out when they're going to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And they keep digging deeper.
It keeps getting worse and worse. And, of course, part of what we're talking about, we'll get into in a second, is the Colbert thing in this incredible attack on free speech that we're seeing. But then old Hunter Biden.
Hunter.
Back for more.
He makes his way into the headlines. If you haven't seen this yet, even if you have, you got to join the fellas for their take on all of this, because he has reemerged in some kind of a podcast interview.
It's just unbelievable. And to continue on what Duncan was saying about them digging deeper and deeper, they really are in a Marianas Trench of humiliation.
It is. It is. It's like they brought back a character from the previous season in some sitcom, and it's like, where the hell did this guy come from? Nobody wants your opinion, pal.
One thing I got to do before we jump into the Colbert thing is, like if you're anything like us, young parents, and you're dealing with kids in the summer and they're in camps and they're doing whatever, you've got to try to work your time in a way that's mentally sane, that you can keep yourself together. There's no rigors of school, and like the whole structure that you base your life around is like thrown into the air. I got sent an email over the weekend from people in the kind of the Northern Virginia, D.C., Maryland area of kids that are on swimming teams in the area.
Oh, this is like a big thing around here.
Yeah, everybody's like, they want their kids to do. It's great. It's a terrific bunch of programs, and their kids can spend the summer. But you're a parent who's got to spend like 7 hours out at the pool, and so this becomes somewhat of an issue. And they send out periodic updates about how things are going. Right. This one, you guys are just going to love every minute of it. So it's just a standard update. They're just, parents are doing it. And they start with things like, encourage your kids to stay in the swim areas. They don't want to be running around the pool deck and things like that. If you're going to be absent for a vacation, just let us know, and that all. Third bullet, timer drinking.
What?
Bold headline. Unfortunately, we've had several reports of drunk parent timers this season.
Oh, no.
We understand that summer's swimming fun and social experience for everyone in the family. With that said, if you're volunteering your time, you are committing to ensuring each swimmer in your lane gets his or her fair time. On Thursday night, I've had reports of timers not only writing down crazy times.
Is that straight up crazy times?
Crazy times. But also giving times to the wrong kids.
Oh, no.
Wholly unacceptable. Many of our swimmers are trying to get the best times. They deserve the reward for their hard work. Many are also trying to qualify for all these things that they're doing. Please consider, it's not a mandate, please consider refraining from drinking until after the meet.
Not happening.
If you do consume alcohol, please seek a replacement timer if you start to feel any effects.
Hey, may I ask a question here? How old are these kids that are swimming?
Anything from like 8 to seniors in high school.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Is there like a lifeguard present? It's not the timer's responsibility, correct?
No, they're just a timer. They're not supposed to save the kids.
The hell if I'm not going to drink? Dude?
Well, I mean, this is part of the thing. What they say, refrain.
But
it's not a prohibition, strictly.
Here's
Not
the
happening.
part of it you might not be considering. If you're a parent sitting there for 7 hours and you're spending your time watching other kids swim, your kid swims for a minute, 2 minutes, various points during the day, you're probably betting on the other kids. And so you want to make sure that those times are sacrosanct because you got money riding on it.
That's right.
So here's my thinking on that. Number one, it's great. I think it's terrific for kids to get into sports because it teaches you so much about life, right? And number one, life is unfair. You're probably going to have a boss who's drinking on the job.
This is just
Get
the
used to
character
it.
building that you need.
Yeah.
Well, also, if maybe your son is going to be in college soon, you want to make sure Timmy has a bad time so that your kid gets the scholarship.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's some of that
That'd be the
going
rules.
on.
My kid swims as much as they want. Get used to it.
That's not alleged here.
Okay.
They're not alleging
As-
a full scalping. They're not doing the timer changes or anything. They're just alleging pure drunkenness.
Well, I'm
As-
sorry, but if I'm watching 8-year-olds flop around in the water, I better be drunk.
But this is my favorite. Fair.
Not exactly entertaining.
Which again, I'll go back. They're not prohibiting. They're just saying if you're
Is
feeling
the pool
effects-
serving, or is it like this? You got to roll up with like a Yeti?
No, they're serving.
Oh, so the pools you're at, they're serving drinks.
Yeah, it sounds
okay,
like it.
Yeah,
It
Well,
sounds like
What
it.
do you think is
So-
going to happen?
So if you are timing, this is how they sign off on this thing. If you're timing and notice another timer becoming impaired, please ask the head timer to find a replacement. And then this is the kicker. The children deserve better.
Oh.
Yes, indeed. Just a bunch of drunken parents. It's such a perfect vignette into the world of a parent.
Like, my kid's the best. Who do you think is driving me home?
I had to get that in there because I just howled at the whole thing because they got to figure out how to, sensitively
Right.
address the issue without making rules that you can't enforce.
Sounds like they did a pretty good job.
I think this is like a Shakespearean type structure
Right.
to provide guidance without prohibiting fun, which of course, as they said up top, is the purpose of the whole swimming meet. Fun.
Dude,
For young and old.
Great content right out of the
For
gate.
young and old. All right, let's get into Stephen Colbert, a CBS staffer. This is just so good. I don't even know where to all start on all of this, but we all know that Colbert gets aced.
He's got 10 months left.
And he gets aced for the reason stated by CBS that his show is losing ungodly amounts.
It costs $100 million to make it. They have 200 people on staff. He's paid $15 million, and it loses 40.
And it's a studio show.
It's a studio show.
They provide as much content as we do here at the Ruthless Variety Program. I think it's safe to say you probably know by now there are not 200 people.
It's
that
like
work here.
I think what stuns me about it is it's like worse financials than some of these USAID programs we cut.
I just want to point out, so we do put out more content by time than Colbert does over a given week.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're certainly funnier.
So Fox, if you're listening, 100 mil a year sounds reasonable for a budget.
I love this. He's already testing the boundary.
He is. Dude, he's like a velociraptor testing the electric fence.
One weekend, they're like, this may be a mistake. We should have done that. Although it is reassuring the audience that, in fact, there are no governor on this train. This thing is on the tracks and it's heading one way. So anyway, this guy gets aced, and immediately the left erupts, which is a tell on yourself
Yes.
about
Yep.
the whole thing. I mean, we're used to David Letterman, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, people who had a sacrosanct view of what late night television was supposed to be, a commentary on the events, a little monologue that's supposed to be some yucks, make people laugh, and then an interesting movie star or two where they can promo their thing, but then you do some jokes and stuff and humanize the person. Great concept. Worked for, 60 years.
That's the thing is like, the accusation was that, Colbert had become this like liberal hack, and the left's like, no, listen, this was just a comedy show. He made fun of Trump, so that's why he lost his job. And then you have like Elizabeth Warren launching an investigation. You have Tim Walz being like, congratulations, you ran the best show ever. It's like, wow, hit dogs holler, don't they? Like, it's very clear this was like their super PAC hour 5 nights a week that they're like, listen, it loses $40 million, but the guy's got us on constantly.
Yeah, it's better than it's better than a contribution to the super PAC. They get a nightly deal.
It's unreal.
There was a great clip that Hakeem Jeffries showed from his prized moment with Stephen Colbert, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was like Colbert saying, Hakeem, you like to quote Biggie Smalls. What do you usually say?
Oh, my
like
God.
that was the interaction. And Hakeem Jeffries took that clip and he was like, he always asks tough questions.
And my favorite was the Schiff thing, but I want to get to like the media react because it's telling on themselves. Everybody who's off the left-hand side of the spectrum in terms of media and everything else, politics, they've got something to say about this, which says a little bit about where the Colbert show positioned themselves in the American consciousness. Can we play clip 1, please?
Your reaction, your thoughts on CBS's decision to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and whether you have any concerns about what that might say about media in general and media in the world of a Donald Trump presidency.
Yeah, well, look, this has not been a great week for free speech and speaking truth to power, without a doubt. So it's very curious, and we have to also make note that Stephen Colbert is unafraid to, again, speak truth to power. He does it in a very bipartisan way over the years.
Oh, sure. Very bipartisan. Couldn't help but notice the first person with a tweet out was Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? Yeah. It's like if you think of the construct with Johnny Carson, David Letterman, Jay Leno, folks like that, the idea that you'd have a senator who has been a senator for a cup of coffee, who has actually no real accomplishments other than being known as the most partisan amongst them in terms of politicians in D.C., who's radically unfunny,
Right.
has absolutely no personality.
Right.
None.
And that he is a desired guest of Stephen Colbert, well, he had erupted over it. He was like, there should be an investigation into all of it. I just got off set. It's like, dude, the fact that you're on set is the reason why this show's going on. You literally are the reason. And they're so dumb to not be able to figure that out. They've never masqueraded as a partisan program. They just became one.
Right.
And they like lost viewers, all kinds of different things, made no attempt to try to position themselves with the center of the electorate. They just basically became a left-wing mouthpiece.
Yeah.
You look at other shit like Seth Meyers is another one on NBC that follows very closely to this. You'll get like they'll put like a executive director of some fly-by-night super PAC on just to have like a Dem mouthpiece on. No entertainment value whatsoever.
That's the thing. These shows, I mean, when they were Leno, when it was Letterman, it used to be about, okay, people are up late, let's entertain them. Letterman especially, he knew his demo. He's like, these are a lot of college kids who are up late. Let's just entertain the hell out of people. These shows weren't about entertainment anymore. They're about preaching to the choir. That's all they wanted to do.
No, that's what I love about putting in a hard day's work, getting home, and I really want to turn the brain off and just hear some funny stuff. What I really love is a left-wing sermon from a program that'll have AOC and Bernie Sanders on every night.
Just injecting adrenaline into my arterial valve every night, right? I mean, it's so bad. But anyway, it didn't stop with that.
What can I just say before we move on to the next clip? What gets me is the temerity of libs like that woman who are saying, no, this is an affront to free speech. On national television while she's sitting in like her kitchen with the bongo drum in the background saying whatever it is she feels like she wants to say, and she's like, no, free speech is over while I'm talking about it.
You know what the best part about that is? We didn't even identify she's the former NPR CEO.
Yeah. And she's talking to Jonathan Capehart.
Right? Which gives you a perfect idea of why this rescissions package was such a perfect thing to do for Republicans. Is that this is a person who doesn't see the $40 million loss as a problem for shareholders or for the parent companies of CBS. It sees it as a public service to shit talk Republicans all day, and that's the public service that we're all being deprived of, regardless of what it costs.
Yeah.
right?
That's 100%.
That's how they view media.
Insanity.
That's how they view media.
Absolute insanity.
That's why we're in this situation that we're in. Anyway, when we come back, you're going to get more reaction from just the insane left, including a sitting senator that I just find completely hilarious right after this.
Hardworking Americans know when it's time to roll up our sleeves and get the job done. Now is the time to unleash our nation's energy to create jobs, secure our future, and make life better, more affordable, and full of opportunity for all Americans. That's the power of America's oil and natural gas. Learn more at lightsonenergy.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
So we're talking about the insanity that the left has reacted with the cancellation of the Colbert Show. Enter Chris Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
This cat, I've never seen a more perfectly packaged loaf of Wonder Bread that has more ambitions than this cat. I mean, he jumps on everything, swings at every pitch. So, of course, this is one to be swung at. Let's put a graphic one, please. All right, this is where he's at. If you refuse to see what is happening, the cancellation of the Colbert Show should open your eyes. I want to explain to you what a censorship state looks like.
Amazing.
It's where a corrupt government gives favors to media that suppresses criticism of the regime.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is what it looks like, folks. No, it wasn't the last 4 years where we had an invalid.
Here's the thing: this is such a problem that the Dems fail to recognize. Is that when you have been telling Americans now, for the entirety of President Trump's first term in office, for his entirety of the time that he's been running, entirety of this administration, that, oh my God, Trump's a fascist. This is what fascism looks like. Look, all your freedoms have been taken away. And then for every American, every time Trump is president, they're like, huh, my taxes have been cut.
Mm-hmm.
There's less crime. The border's secure. Gas prices have gone down. Yet these guys are convincing me that I'm living in the Soviet Union and that like all my freedoms have been taken away.
Of
like,
which none of those things are covered on the evening news.
It's like at some point they have to realize the boy who cried wolf, like he even recognized there was a limit.
So the tenuous connection that these libs are all using is that there's the CBS Paramount Skydance merger, which apparently will need federal government approval.
Yes.
And so the whole subtext to this stuff is like it's being shut down
And the
as
settlement.
a favor so that merger gets approved or whatever.
And it comes, 60 Minutes had to have a settlement as well, right?
Right. Anything that happens in media, whenever people are losing money or they lose lawsuits, it's because fascism is here in America.
Yep.
Right. But like the thing that doesn't logically follow is they're allowing Colbert to stay on for the next 10 months.
Exactly.
While his contract, like it doesn't make
doesn't
sense.
make sense.
If you're doing
Michael,
this to curry favor with Donald Trump, you would just take him off the air.
Michael, you didn't listen to the NPR CEO who clearly said free speech is over. She told us, Michael.
She said it. Well, and she's been defunded. Yeah. So her speech, in a sense, may very well be over. But another piece of it is part of the reason why they can't make up the difference on the $40 million deal. Is because their ad demo, the demo that is now in the middle of the ratings of the Colbert Show, when Letterman left, it had gone up to 60 years old, the average age of a viewer of Letterman. And they were like, well, let's get a younger guy in here, snappy Daily Show type guy. It'll help us go back into the targeted demo, like revitalize and bring some youth to the show.
Makes some sense.
You know what it is now?
What?
68.
Amazing.
It went from 60 to 68?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No, it's the same audience. It just got old.
Well, you know why? I mean, you look at the left and everything that they're doing in the Trump era, and it's no surprise that the demo goes higher. You look at those No Kings protests, and it's a bunch of old liberal boomer hippies out there. Those are the same people that watch his show. I find it particularly amazing that you could be on a broadcast network in the United States of America with a late show, and you do 1 million less than Gutfeld does on Fox.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, think about that. On cable.
Well, and the added benefit, I mean, think about the number of eyeballs you have access to.
Right.
In broadcasts.
The number of people who get tricked into just watching your show because they wanted to watch something else.
Right.
You know?
They just left the set on.
They left the set on. I was in for the football, and oh, here's this guy.
Here I am. Yeah. Just terrible. Well, I mean, if $40 million in the red is something that you are interested in, you may be interested in our next story regarding the WNBA.
Yes.
So they had their All-Star thing. Mm-hmm. And the WNBA continues its long march towards irrelevance in many ways. And you won't believe the clips that we've got here. Why don't we just start with a clip 2, if you don't mind. These are T-shirts that all the All-Stars of the WNBA are wearing that say, "Pay us what you owe us." Shirt. Mm-hmm. Right? This is an argument, if you followed professional women's athletics, that was like the Megan Rapinoe call to action during women's soccer that now apparently WNBA has adopted, which somehow takes leave of their senses in terms of what the balance sheet looks like, and then demands to be paid what they're owed. It goes back to a Democratic argument that was made all through the early 2010s that was like pay inequity, right? And they always just cited men being paid more.
And for folks who are unaware, the WNBA gets its money because they force NBA teams to subsidize them, because the WNBA people don't pay
for
enough
28 years.
Yeah, so people don't pay enough in ticket sales and merch sales for the WNBA to exist, so the NBA has to pay for them.
At the risk of getting shit on for the next 45 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Oh, here we go.
Well, yeah.
Let me just say something I read that I found very interesting, posted by Dave Portnoy. He made a point that the WNBA is actually doing better this year than they ever have before. And he didn't say this, but you got to assume a lot of that is due to Caitlin Clark. I took my girls to see a game that she played here in town, and it was filled to the brim. Everybody just wanted to see her hit those three-pointers. And I think there may be something to the idea that the WNBA is doing a little bit better because you have somebody like Caitlin Clark who gets hit in the face and keeps going, versus a guy like LeBron who gets hit in the face and rolls around and cries and says, "Please give me a foul call."
And says, "Please have my son."
Well, there's no question that the market has improved, and there's no question that it's directly related to Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA. I know that bothers my friend Smug, but it is true, which is a perfect segue to clip 3, please.
We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise. But the T-shirt, just United Front, was determined this morning that we had a meeting for. And, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just... We had a very...
that really needed to be mentioned.
I'm trying to make a situation light, okay?
This is the problem with their league. They don't know what they have.
This is crazy. Is that like, a bunch of women's league would be catty?
Yeah. Well, this is the great irony of the WNBA, which is whatever you think about Caitlin Clark, it has become relevant in the era of Caitlin Clark. People pay tickets to go see her. They bring their daughters. It's become something that you see regularly. You want to see the performance of Caitlin. And yet all of the people not on the Indiana Fever, where Caitlin Clark plays, do their very best to try to undermine her, injure her on the court.
Good. Here's the thing is, and I've said it before for folks who haven't heard, Caitlin Clark came out and she made all these woke statements. She was like, "Oh man, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for these black players, these black women who are trailblazers and on my team. And you shouldn't thank me, you should thank them. And it's only because of them that we have anything." And she's like very pro George Floyd. And it's like, here's the thing. Whenever her fellow players beat the shit out of her, she deserves it. That's what you get. You can bow down to the mob, and all that happens is it makes it easier for them to steamroll you. Every time they do this and treat her like that, it makes me happy because that's what you get. You bow to the mob, that's what you get.
Well, the point is made in that they treat her with no respect whatsoever. But I do think the finances speak for themselves on this.
But I don't know that they really do. Like the WNBA's books aren't like open. We don't get to take a fine tooth comb through like what their revenue is and ticket sales and all of these sort of things. I hope we actually get to the point where we can see the finances of it so that we have clarity in the whole thing. And so these left-wing people who are like, well, no, it's extremely popular and yada, yada, yada. People who actually don't actually watch the games, right? But just like to write articles about how
100%,
important it
that's
is.
the truth.
I want to see the actual financials, and then it's not up to us, right?
Yeah, no, then
we'll
it's
just know.
It's just transparent. But I think it is a point of fact that before she got to the WNBA for 25 long years, there was this running conversation about how the NBA was basically existing in large part to subsidize the WNBA. That nobody ever really went to go see it. It had not much revenue. They were basically a professional bunch of franchises that supported a product without a marketplace. That much we know for 25 years. Now, how much better it's done, I don't know because we don't know the numbers, but we do know the ratings numbers, and they are getting significantly more people watching.
Which is still not great ratings.
But
I mean, it's like saying like, oh, well, there were 3 people who were watching it last year, and this year there's 4.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's
great.
marketability of the individual athletes in the sport that make the sport work. And I noticed these women who want some sort of pay equity in the WNBA. No one batted an eye when Livy Dunn was getting $20 million or whatever she was in NIL money. No one was saying, "Well, we have that money distributed to the other athletes on the LSU gymnastics team."
Why aren't the male gymnasts getting paid out of Livy Dunn's pockets? Pay how much you owe.
You know what? That's an excellent point. They should wear those shirts.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point. So, interested in all of you weighing in this. Our question of the day here in the Ruthless Variety Program: what do you think they should be paid? Like, do you think, I mean, all these finances, there's franchises that are owned by NBA teams. The entire thing is owned by, like, do you have to open those books? If they're going to make a statement like this, don't they just have to open those books?
I think so. And I will tell you guys a quick story. One of my buddies from high school posted on Facebook years and years ago, would you rather find $5 on a sidewalk or have your WNBA team win the championship? And he went viral.
That's so mean.
He went viral for it. Every girl from the high school was like, "You can't say that. That's terrible. You can't say that."
Best take ever.
He might be a bigger troll than Smug.
I mean, that's A class.
That is a hardcore take.
And he's a big Democrat.
Great take.
I thought it was funny.
Well, we love your answers to these questions. What would you pay a WNBA player, and how would you go about formulating that? That's our question of the day today. When we come back, we want to get to your question from last week, which is who should get the NPR PBS money? It's in the rescissions package. We've saved it. Does it go back to the government for deficit reduction? Or is there another idea? When you like and subscribe to the Ruthless Variety Program, we read everything. And when we do, we summarize it and read it right back to you here on the next show. And we're going to get to it right after this.
Our nation is standing up for American workers, restoring the pride of making products here at home. That's what we do every day. We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, delivering brands that have been enjoyed for generations, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic. Because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
You've liked and subscribed to the Ruthless Variety Program, and now it's time to leave your opinions. What do we say here on the Variety Program?
Like and subscribe if you wish to opine.
That's right. And to do that, we always start with a voice.
First comment comes from Tony Collet. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tony writes, I vote that we don't do anything with the NPR money, reduce the deficit, and do not spend it.
Tony, that's a fine take. Mm-hmm. I am with you on that. I think the vast majority of our listeners would be, but perhaps there's more other sort of innovative thought processes to examine.
We'll call it a deficit reduction brought to you by viewers like you.
That's good. That's good.
Set up the telethon, folks. Here we go. What do we got, Dunks?
This is from Natalie Davis. Natalie writes, for the question of the day, I have to refer back to what I learned from Dave Ramsey about budgeting. Either give the money back to the people you stole it from or use it to pay down the debt, a teeny tiny bit. But for God's sakes, big government, do not, I repeat, do not find a new place to spend it.
It's fantastic.
I love
It's
it.
the bit that maybe the taxpayer should get a little something back for what they've wasted on this garbage programming over the last whoever knows long. All right, comment 3, Smuggles.
This comment comes from Gloria, and it's about us getting that Fox deal. It says, thanks, guys, for addressing your subscriber concerns about your editorial independence. Actions speak louder than words, but it's good to hear the words, too.
Yep.
And if I'm not here for the next episode because I demanded $100 million.
That is hilarious.
If for some reason he appears with duct tape over his mouth, then the actions, I guess, will speak louder than any words we have. But I thank you for that. And there was a lot of comments over the last week wondering about all this. I know you fellas addressed this on Friday's program, which I greatly appreciate. But that's what you got to know and appreciate about this deal that we did, is that it's not so much us as it is Fox that just really wants the authentic thing that we've been doing here, the relationship that we have with you, the audience, and they don't want to change any of that, which to us was so attractive. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. We just have more and bigger.
They said straight up, don't change a single thing. We love what you got. Just do more of it.
Just do more.
That's it.
And if you can't tell by the first couple of segments, hey, I think we're right back on the path of where we've always been. Listen, this is one of our absolute favorites. She's just terrific. You know her and you love her as the White House press secretary. She's also a very, very good friend of the program, Karoline Leavitt. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. It's my honor, truly.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
You're one of the favorite. It's one of the highest fan requested guests. When we're like, who should we have on the show? Karoline Leavitt. Karoline Leavitt.
Well, you were absent for my first appearance
I
on the
was.
show.
Yes, let's do that.
So,
I had to visit my mother.
pleasure
I'm
to
sorry.
see
I'm
you.
a great son.
As a mother of a son, that's an acceptable excuse if you're telling me the truth.
100%.
Okay, I can't tell with your glasses if you're lying or not. So I hope that's an honest answer.
He's blind. How dare you? Oh, one of our best comments. Listen, all of our listeners are well aware of the 6 months that you all have been doing this. But I think what we don't do enough is just do a moment in time, just stop and look back, because so much has happened. So much of this agenda has been accomplished, the stuff that the president talked about on the campaign trail, day in and day out, of things, aspirational things that you could try to get done. And like, you look back in 6 months, what's left on the list?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. If you think back to the campaign, which you guys covered and I was part of, the president really promised so many things, but really 2 things, right? Defeat inflation and secure the border. Those were the 2 campaign promises we went to every rally and spoke about, no matter where we were in the country. And those were always the top 2 issues in every single poll across every demo. And he's delivered on that in 6 months' time. I mean, I don't think you could look back at any presidency from either party and say a president delivered on their 2 signature campaign promises in 6 months.
Totally.
Inflation is gone. Prices are dropping. The economy is booming again. The Wall Street Journal front page this morning said the economy has its swagger back, as they quoted. And then look at the border. It's so remarkable. And he did it all via executive power and orders, but we
were told reliably you couldn't do that.
We were told you needed a bill to secure the border.
We were told that,
which was bullshit. You just needed a president, and the American public trusted that. And then if you look at what he's already done, he's already codified the entire MAGA agenda through Congress in 6 months with the One Big Beautiful Bill. So there's so much more. Look at foreign policy, the wars he's stopped and prevented. He always says, I don't get enough credit for stopping nuclear war between India and Pakistan, but he really did negotiate a ceasefire. The hostages that have come out of Gaza, just success after success, all of the trade deals already with more to come. So it's been a remarkable 6 months. The president works literally 24/7, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So there's more work to do, but it's been a really successful ride so far.
You can always tell who's winning based on who's having the most fun.
True.
And consistently, it appears like you and your team and the outward-facing part of the White House, obviously the president and vice president, seems like the entire cabinet, is consistently upbeat, excited about the next challenge. It does a lot to public consciousness when you're communicating this optimism.
I definitely I know the president is having a lot more fun in Washington this time around than he did in the first term, right? Like, as he says, in his first term, he was not only fighting to govern, but he was fighting for survival through the Russia hoax, which I know hopefully we'll talk about with DNI Tulsi Gabbard and what she's been doing lately. But you look at the impeachments, he's been through so much, and now he's back. He's been feeling vindicated. And it's fun when you actually do what you said you were going to do.
Right.
Like, unlike politicians who just lie and say one thing and do something else, and then you have to figure out how to get away with it with your voters. Like, the president says something and he does it. And that's fun. It's fun to deliver on those promises. It's fun to message those promises from a communication standpoint. And, you know, he's doing what he said he would do. It makes it easy.
I think that's a big part of it, watching you in the podium and your team and how you handle just an incredibly hostile press. They've learned nothing. But, you know, when you're in your position, most press secretaries, you have your message, what you're trying to sell, and then there are just things that come up. And there's always some kind of a hedge or some kind of you don't have any nuance on that. It's what I find so refreshing about watching your daily briefings is that you're just going to take all these questions head on and you're unconflicted about the position that the administration has taken, which makes, in some ways, it's so much easier to communicate because whatever the filter is that the mainstream media is trying to apply to it, you're just going to tell it like it is.
Yeah. And I have a boss who empowers me to do that. And I'm really grateful to the president for that. Before every briefing, I do my check-in with him. And I ask him whatever question is out there that I don't know how he feels on. I'm like, sir,
what are we doing?
They're going to hammer on me on this one today. What are we doing? And he tells me how he feels. And then we go over like, okay, let's say it this way or that way. And then every time before I take the podium, he always says, just have fun, honey. Like, those are always his parting words. Just have fun with it. He said it to me today before I did a TV interview. So,
because that's what he does.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, you own it, and you either like learn to like go with the flow or you're going to drown, right? And so we just go with the flow and roll with the punches. But, you know, he's honest and he's authentic. And as a spokesperson, it makes my job a heck of a lot easier. In many ways, I think my predecessor in this role was not good at the job for a lot of reasons, but I almost feel bad for her because she had an impossible task to speak on behalf of a brain-dead president. I say that with like sincerity in my heart.
When you're
I
hiding
feel
that
sorry
big of a
for
secret,
her.
right?
Yes. She was engaged in a cover-up that was forced upon her by people much more powerful than she was, and she was told to lie. I presume. I mean, I wasn't there.
That's amazing that like you're told like just have fun with it, and then she's told don't bring up that he's brain dead. Like, just don't do that. And he'll be
Two
fine.
very different circumstances.
So,
I'm very fortunate to be in this position.
The president is not really the president, so you've got to figure out how to do it. I mean, I can't even imagine the struggles with that.
I can't imagine having an auto pen running the country and pretending like it doesn't. I mean, it's true. That's what was going on.
Karoline, you mentioned the DNI report, which was explosive. And, of course, the mainstream press is like, I don't know that we want to write about that. But it was breaking absolute news, telling a story that we've talked about here on the show over the years. But I wonder if you could just sort of walk through the details of that report and what Tulsi Gabbard has presented.
For sure. And I'm so pleased to be asked about it because I just did a gaggle out in front of the White House with all the White House press corps and not a single question came up about it. And as I walked away, I was kicking myself like I should have brought it up to them because
they don't have any more questions to ask because they wrote all these stories and they were all perfectly sourced and they were accurate and they won all of those prizes for them.
There was prizes awarded.
They're not giving up their Pulitzer prizes anytime soon. But no, this is huge news, and I give great credit to Tulsi Gabbard, who's doing a phenomenal job for declassifying key documents that prove the president and his supporters, millions of Americans who always saw this for what it was, were right. And, for those who haven't been following, it is a very convoluted story because of the lies told by the fake news media. But essentially, when Barack Obama was leaving office in 2016, he conspired with the intelligence community to cook up a fake intelligence report and leak it to the press that Donald Trump was a Russian asset. And it was paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Meanwhile, Obama was going to the cameras publicly saying that we support a peaceful transfer of power. I watched a clip of him this weekend saying, I'm going to do everything I can to help Donald Trump come in. That's how our country will be successful. He said that to President Trump's face in the Oval Office during that transition period. Meanwhile, he was holding secret meetings in the White House with top law enforcement and intelligence officials to put out this fake intelligence and mislead the American public. And really what they were trying to do is muddy the waters at the very beginning of the president's administration to lead to these impeachments and to all of the smears and the lies that were told about the president that unfortunately so many people in our country believed, because for decades you picked up the New York Times and you believed that what you read in that paper was truth.
Yeah.
And really, I think the Russia hoax, it was one of the greatest political scandals this country has ever seen. And it's a shame the media won't cover it for what it was. But again, I commend Tulsi Gabbard for doing that and for bringing light to this real fraud that took place. And so much money wasted, so many lies told, lives were ruined because of this. You think about General Michael Flynn and so many others whose lives were destroyed. This is the deep state. I mean, this is what they do firsthand.
It also unmasked the sourcing of many big news outlets in terms of how they reported on intelligence.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about, the Clappers and the Brennans and all the TV contracts for them and all of their acolytes. And like I witnessed firsthand in that era where you'd show up at a green room somewhere and these guys would basically give a wink and a nod. Like, I can't tell you how I know all of these things.
Right.
Because obviously it's highly classified and I alone in this room have access to this sort of thing. But I can assure you it's all pretty dangerous stuff. And then it left to the viewer an assumption of some sort of expertise that they might have, which again, I think is so important at the beginning of this administration to ensure that folks like that don't have access to all the intel.
Totally.
Because they just manipulate it for public consumption.
And they manipulate it to push a narrative that they want to see out in the press. And we saw a little glimpse of this in the follow-up to the president's highly successful attack on Iran's nuclear facility. Immediately, we had intel sources leaking to places like the Washington Post, who are just gullible sheep for the deep state, or CNN reporter Natasha Bertrand, who wrote about the Russia hoax like on face value. Exactly. She wrote that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation, which was another lie pushed by the deep state. I mean, there's a list we could continue on, but those same reporters who have been used as sheep by these dishonest people were trying to discredit the president's attack on his Iranian facilities, but they didn't get away with it because we've seen this game played before, right? And unlike, I think, the first administration where everyone was new to the city, like everyone was just trying to do their best, we know, this is how... This is the playbook, and we're going to push back forcefully against it. And we did not allow these bad actors who remain in this city in positions of power to do that and to undermine the president's successful strikes.
It's an incredibly important development. And I don't think people understand just how significant it is. If
It's
you don't have
huge.
faith and trust
Yeah.
in intelligence operations and agencies in this country, that's what separates America from third world situations.
And it's not, people of course know about the CIA as the Central Intelligence Agency for the United States, but there are so many smaller intelligence agencies at a few different departments where there are so many people who have their hands on classified and top secret material. So I know this administration is working on how can we streamline that, and how can we make sure only the most trusted and responsible individuals in our government have access to this material and are using it in a way to advance our interests, not undermine the sitting president of the United States.
No kidding. We want to play a game with you, but I got a personal question first.
Okay.
You're a remarkably well-adjusted human, which I
Thank
find
you.
which I
That's very
find
nice.
incredibly unique in this town, particularly one who is so externally facing. Right? I mean, when you wake up in the morning, that like half the country is just bred to hate you.
Oh, yes.
But you've embraced that, and now you're in this huge high-profile role. 6 months in, and you seem to have just kind of dealt with it at a personal level. Like you got a young family, you do like all the normal stuff that like normal people would do, except most people who are in a position like yours, like you can't do normal.
Yeah.
Like it affects you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you just, as you're looking at that, is there any like trick that you've sort of developed? Is it the group that you have working around you? What?
Yeah, I think I have a great team at the White House, most of whom came from the campaign. And so, they get it. Like, they get how this city is, and they're great staff. I have a great family. Like, my husband is a rock star and just super supportive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being a mom and being a parent just gives you such perspective
Nothing
on life.
humbles you more quickly.
Nothing humbles you. Like, who gives a shit what people think? I have a son at home who just wants to play trucks and like hang out, you know? So
Right.
that has really helped me, I think. But, you know, there's things I can't do that I used to be able to do. But, you know, mostly I live my life. We went out, you know, shopping in Old Town this weekend, and there's a lot of people that roll their eyes. There's also a lot of people that want selfies too. So like, that's fine. And, you know, I've just learned that there's always going to be people that dislike you. So, you know, who cares? And I know, you know, I wake up every day to just try to do my job to the best of my ability and make the president proud and my family proud and myself proud and the country proud, hopefully. And, you know, just tell the truth.
Yeah, it's just it's a remarkably optimistic.
is.
Thanks.
Especially when you're dealing with like the worst people.
Exactly. That's kind of what the underlying part of this is, right? Is that you've got to
Because
go.
I would become a really bad person.
You're well on your way.
And all of us sort of formed this outlet in some ways of like, none of us were White House press secretary, but because we had to deal for so long with such a hostile press corps, like we needed our own outlet. We had to do our own thing to try to figure out the mental capacity of like, how do you unload this burden that these put on your plate every day?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't get frustrated by it. And I've learned very quickly, and this is something I've learned by watching our chief of staff, Susie Wiles, who has the hardest job in this town, arguably in the world. But she like never gets frazzled by anything. And when she's presented, even with the largest of problems, she just, I've watched her, you know, she just takes it in and takes a breath and then moves forward. And so I've tried to emulate that myself. And, you know, you have like staff or whomever, colleagues come up with a frenetic, like, and it's like, it's going to be okay, right? Like, the president has endured so many horrible fake news cycles, and he's still standing. And he's the best at this, by the way.
He is.
He sees a negative story, he punches back, and he goes to fight the next one. And so that's just the world we live in. And when I go home, I try to shut it off and like enjoy the more important things in life, right? Like family and all of that. But when you're in it, you can't get bogged down in it, or else you will drown.
Yeah, wow, that's a really refreshing perspective. So one of the things we do in the variety program is we play a game. We like to sing and dance and entertain.
I love to do games.
What are the games that we
play? Some games
that we haven't played for a while, actually.
It's been a while.
It's called Hard Pivot. And it's our appreciation for like the better communicators in politics writ large, in that invariably what happens is that you have a message that you have to push. And there's a bunch of reporters out there that are going to ask you about whatever the hell they want to ask you about. But you've got that message you've got to push. So you've got to work that in. It's the pivot. Whatever the question is, you have to work that pivot in. And then we also like to throw in a little plug at the end.
For bonus points.
Yes. So the setup here is that you're going to be the judge.
So I just get to sit back and
you
relax.
get to enjoy.
I mean, well, you would
and
know better than
enjoy the
anyone.
show.
You get to enjoy the show.
And provide some commentary.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
provide
happy
some
to do
commentary.
it.
Holmes and I will be playing as the contestants. We're going to be the spokespeople, the communications directors, whoever it is, who have to pivot from the question to the topic. Smug, you're going to be asking the question.
That's right.
You're going to be the reporter. And then
I'm
going
the
to
press
be
secretary
the press
for each
secretary
of you,
Right.
and I'm telling you what you have to pivot to.
So but we also assume identities that are not our own.
Exactly.
Yeah, and not only do we have to pivot, but then there's a plug for bonus points. It's sort of like, you know, in ice skating in the Olympics, how they evaluate the scores based on the difficulty of the move, the triple axel, if you will.
A double sow cow.
Sow cow.
Sure.
If you can fit the plug into your pivot, you get bonus points.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So who's who here?
So we'll start with you, Mr. Holmes. Here's your plug. Okay, and sir, I will tell you.
What's my identity?
Your identity is a Democrat consultant to a former liberal intel official for President Obama.
It's on topic.
That's tough.
And sir, if I could just ask you, please, to hem one thing in, it's that the 2016 election was stolen by Russia. You have to remind the reporter that that's what happened.
So we're just repeating the lies that we just talked about. Perfect.
Okay, so I
go,
am
Josh.
an Intel spokes for like an Obama era.
Former Obama guy.
Just call Natasha Bertrand and your
Yeah,
skit
right.
will be over.
Yeah, totally. I just read her column. I should be set. And my plug is that 16 was stolen.
By Russia.
Okay, and you're the reporter?
I am.
What are you going to ask me?
My question to you is, please explain how your efforts in the Obama administration made it possible for Trump to destroy Iran's infamous nuclear development site at Fordo.
This is tough.
Oh, I got to go to Iran, Russia. Okay, my plug.
You can do it, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
This is highly enjoyable.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I think we can stipulate here at the outset that the Trump administration and President Trump himself has been more focused on retribution against his political enemies than he ever was on any intelligence briefings. Amongst his enemies, I would say, does not include Russia. And we found that out, sadly, as a country in 2016 because, of course, the stolen election that we saw at that particular point in time, something that they are trying to punish people for telling the truth, frankly. This is a bunch of painstaking work that has been done throughout the intelligence community. I, for example, had my eyes on not only what was going on in Russia, but the critical work that was done in Iran to make sure that all of us were safe from the nuclear threat of Iran. I will say the way the Trump administration handled it was not good. These are people that can be reasoned with. They, for example, respond very favorably to pallets of cash. We had no problem. We were delivering cash their way. And so they've taken a wrong direction, but they would have no direction at all if not for the work that we did during the Obama administration. But I've been focused all along on the threats that are to America, whether it be Russia, whether it be to Iran, which you can find on my new podcast entitled White Supremacy, America in Danger.
Wow! That was impressive.
That was good. Very good.
That was
Not
impressive.
too bad. Very good.
Your Honor, do you care to provide any commentary on that response?
I have to say, I am incredibly impressed how you just went from a good old Republican boy to an analyst on MSDNC real quick.
That's scary.
It was a little frightening. Even your body language changed. Your head was moving in ways I haven't seen.
Well, you got to be a little bit
You have to channel.
You really were channeling the energy.
It's self-important.
May I criticize?
Please.
One, a little long. You were
Okay.
a little
You
long
went
in
a
the
little
tooth. Is
long.
that
A
the
little long.
saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
you
fair.
were clearly lying, and
Yeah.
that's what people do when they're just riffing.
I don't know any other way.
But overall, quite good.
Thank
But I'd
you.
like to see what your
We'll try to
opponent-
lie succinctly.
Great.
What do you got for me?
Okay, so you, Mr. Duncan, you are a former consultant to USAID
Yes.
firm, okay, and you've spent a lot of time in Africa. And what I just want to encourage you to drive the message that you are very concerned with the funding cuts inspiring terrorism against America. And here is the...
Wait, USAID cuts? Okay.
Here is the...
If they don't get the money, they'll
mention.
commit terrorism, I guess.
And I can look at it now, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Ready for your question?
I guess.
Your question. How has the recent effort to cut USAID funding unfairly mischaracterized key contraception programs and undermined global stability?
Thank you for the question. It's an important question with everything that Elon Musk and Doge and President Trump did to ruin our relationship, especially with the third world, the Middle East, some of these countries in desperate need of these contraceptive services. What happens when you don't have contraceptive services? You have bad family planning. If you have bad family planning, you have broken homes. If you have broken homes, you have orphans. And those orphans are impressionable. And they're recruits for terrorist cells around the world, like Al-Shabaab and ISIS and Hamas. People who want to strike at the heart of the United States of America. That is why I am calling not only to restore the USAID funding, but to put a Planned Parenthood in every country in Africa.
Oh my God. Doubling down.
But where the government has failed, Hollywood and the arts must succeed. And that is why I'm also calling for the funding of a critical theater production of Cats by the cast of the Hutu Tutsi Gay Straight Alliance.
That was brilliant. I don't know.
I blacked out what happened.
I don't know how you judge it. You got to appreciate the effort, though.
That was brilliant. You were doubling down just like a Democrat does on the bullshit Bernie Sanders style at the end with the point, and then you totally caught me off guard with the plug at the end. I was like, whoa, where are we going with Hollywood? I'm sorry, Josh, but I think Mr. Duncan over here.
Some outstanding work.
Yes, takes the cake.
Thank you.
I got
Very
it.
good.
It's a fair decision,
Very,
one that I
very
will
good.
respect and abide by. Listen, you're the absolute best. We can always have a blast with you. We have so much fun watching you and your colleagues and the president and what you are up to on a day-to-day basis. Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
You're welcome back
I'll come
anytime.
back. Now that you have a new home, congratulations on the big announcement.
Thank you.
Have you guys talked about that yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I just spill the beans on the podcast for the first time? Good. Well, thanks for having me. It's always fun.
Always fun.
Thank
Karoline
you.
Leavitt.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, you just cannot put into words what a treasure that woman is for our relationship with the press, because she gives them an uppercut every single time.
No question. No question. She's so good at what she does. She's so personable. She's a perfect fit here with the fellas.
Yeah.
It's a blast. Thank you a bunch, Karoline, for coming in and sharing your views. Welcome back anytime. We got to get to the Hunter Biden stuff.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
For those of you who stuck around, you are in for a treat. Because there is few things that we have had more yucks about over the last 4 years than the trials and tribulations of Hunter, and just wishing that someone out there would put a microphone in front of his face and let him just go full auto, right?
Well, he got the pardon, so now he can.
Now he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what this thing is that he showed up on.
It's called like Channel 5, and I guess it strikes me as some like left-leaning podcast. I'm not terribly sure, but I love the footage.
Well, when you take a look at the guy who's asking him questions, I think it pretty much fills in the blanks. I mean, this cat is not exactly putting
These
together
new media clowns.
Yeah. Edward R. Murrow, he is not. Let's have a look at clip 4A, please.
But fuck him.
George Clooney.
Fuck
Come on,
him
George Clooney.
and everybody around him. I don't have to be fucking nice. Number one, I agree with Quentin Tarantino. Fucking George Clooney is not a fucking actor. He is a fucking, I don't know what he is. He's a brand. And by the way, and God bless him. You know what? He supposedly treats his friends really well. You know what I mean? Buys them things. And he's got a really great place in Lake Como. And he's great friends with Barack Obama. Fuck you. What do you have to do with fucking anything? Why do I have to fucking listen to you? What right do you have to step on a man who's given 52 years of his fucking life to the service of this country and decide that you, George Clooney, are going to take out basically a full-page ad in the fucking New York Times?
I will
Let him
say,
cook, man.
Fellas, I will say that I believe that bag of cocaine found in the White House locker has been recovered.
I mean, it's so good because we talked about this from moment one, about when George Clooney penned the New York Times op-ed, that it certainly wasn't George Clooney who sat at his typewriter and crafted all of this, that it was part of this big scheme amongst the Democrats who had become like the leaders of that party, basically who's famous.
And I've been saying for years that there's this huge like fight between Obama's and the Bidens, and he called. I mean, you saw it right there.
Yeah.
You saw it right there. But it gets
You're
even
friends
better.
with Barack Obama. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good.
I mean, the level of just vitriol, omnipresent, but he keeps going on. He's got something to say about the Democratic consultants that run the Democrat Party too. 4B.
Me and James Carville, who hasn't run a race in 40 fucking years, and David Axelrod, who had one success in his political life, and that was Barack Obama. And that was because of Barack Obama, not because of fucking David Axelrod. And David Plouffe, and all of these guys, and the Pod Save America guys, who were junior fucking speechwriters on Barack Obama's Senate staff, who have been dining out on the relationship with him for years, making millions of dollars. The Anita Dunns of the world, who's made 40, 50 million dollars off the Democratic Party. They're all going to insert their judgment over a man who has figured out, unlike anybody else, how to get elected to the United States Senate over 7 times.
I mean, dude, first of all, I might be on Hunter Biden's team now.
Yeah.
He is the first Democrat that I've ever heard articulate what we talk about a lot on this program about how the pod save bros were like junior speechwriters.
And I want to add to that. So Tommy Vitor, one of the pod bros, went and he tweeted this about this clip. Greg Price upped these video clips. God bless him. Great find.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy Vitor writes, "It's good to see that Hunter has taken some time to process the election, look inward, and hold himself accountable for how his family's insular, dare I say arrogant at times, approach to politics led to this catastrophic outcome we're all now living with."
Yeah, it's a fight.
It is a fight, but I'm thinking Hunter wins that fight because Hunter was just like, fuck you. And the pod bros are like, dare I say?
Dare I say? Oh, well, if inward introspection and now.
Like, why? That's the thing I don't get. Tommy, why are you being diplomatic about it?
Yeah, he's fuck you. He's just shat all over your entire career.
Right.
And the basis by which you try to inform your audience that you have some level of expertise.
And it's funny because like Tommy Vitor has me blocked because I would constantly own him on Twitter and he got mad about it. And the rest of the pod bros are always mad at us because, well, we beat him on the charts.
Yeah.
If you didn't see that on the X, we beat them on the charts. They're getting smoked, and now even Hunter rolls up and smokes them.
Yeah, I know. It's just like wheel kicking. It's like that
How many beatdowns you guys gonna take?
The scene from Goodfellas when you've got De Niro, and Pesci wheel kicking the guy.
Hunter smoked him like a crack rock.
I mean,
he's not done. He's got more for us.
Oh, boy.
Let him cook. 4C. He's going to talk about Jake Tapper.
Who's Jake Tapper's audience? Jake Tapper?
My mom or something? I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
For real, though. I don't even think it's your mom anymore.
No.
By the numbers. What influence does Jake Tapper have over anything? He has the smallest audience on cable news. And beyond that, I think that the book is right now on Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. And, they did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab. Such a disservice to everybody that he serves with.
The guy's like my mom. Not even your mom.
how did he land this?
It's
Hunter,
fantastic.
if you're listening, right here.
Oh, totally. Can you imagine?
Come have a chat with us.
He'd have the time of his life on this program.
I mean, everyone is tuning in. Ever since that deal, our numbers are like through the roof. If you want an audience, Hunter, please come out. We will not censor you. Just go right into the mic. Let him have it. That call out on Tapper is great. He's like, listen, that was a cash grab. Coming from a cash-grabbing grifter, I know it when I see it. And this guy Tapper, he's just trying to grab some cash.
I think if he came in, I'd just do a word association where you just like have a name and like go. And then just see what he comes up with.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, fuck this, fuck that, everything. He's got a lot to unload.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just unloading everything. So he's not done. The best part about this little particular clip is that he also takes objective reality and ensures the audience that he has, in fact, not been observant of it whatsoever. He's still living in like a 2016, 2017 dynamic when it comes to like Russia.
Yep.
Right?
Nice.
Let's play clip 5.
A cover-up. And then you had 100 former national security officials come out and say, this looks like it could be a Russian op. Because it is. Because in the course of an election, what happens? You have Rudy Giuliani in conjunction with Steve Bannon, in conjunction with Miles Gow, who's in jail, who is, I don't know how many ever counts of fraud and bribery, and is a Chinese national, was working directly with Steve Bannon, and a number of others, including Bernie Kerik, who, God rest his soul, is dead, that basically came out and said, we have Hunter Biden's laptop. And the big reveal about Hunter Biden's laptop was that I was a crack addict.
Well,
I don't know.
I got to tell you that I think the feet pic were somewhat of a headline.
Yeah.
I felt like the dramatic number of photographs that were.
I kind of thought it was all the payments from all these foreign countries.
That seemed relevant.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the fascinating takeaway from that is he is still lost in a world where that lie that they had going into 2020 and that they had the media all go lockstep with this lie that this is Russian disinfo, which we then, shortly after the election, learned, no, actually, this is all true.
It was his laptop. That was the basis of that letter, it's maybe not his
That's
laptop.
what makes it such comedy. It's like literally this guy's laptop, and he's like, no, my laptop, which actually was my laptop, is actually Russian disinformation.
But that's the thing is like, it strikes me as he's the same situation as his father of like, clearly he's just like either in this like silo of info where only what their statement is they think is objective reality. Because like to this day, Joe Biden still thinks he would have won. You know, like they've controlled. We've seen all these instances of how much they control the information getting to him, and it just creates this fake reality in his head. And Hunter feels like he's in the same place.
Dude, I mean, most of the people who signed that letter have since apologized.
Because they're all going to be getting indicted.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like he somehow that news has not hit Hunter Biden. He's got more to say, folks.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Clip 6 is one of favorites.
And he's somehow convinced all of us that these people are the fucking criminals? White men in America are 45 more times likely to commit a fucking violent crime than an immigrant. And the media says, well, you got David Axelrod and, Rahm fucking Emanuel. So fucking smart, Rahm Emanuel. And so we got to understand that these people are really mad. And we got to appeal to these white voters. Rahm, the only people that fucking appealed to those fucking white voters was Joe Biden, 81 years old.
That's the best part. Is that, like, somehow he's repurposed his dad's. You remember when he came out? He went to Howard University and made a big speech about how white men were the most dangerous threat to America, to Homeland Security, and like then used it as to say like white supremacy is now labeled as like a terrorist.
Yeah, the problem with white supremacy is that demand for it far outstrips supply, and so they all look like idiots.
Hunter's basically Joe Biden without the dimension, more F-bombs.
Yeah, like real raw and uncut.
Yeah.
And he's on too much crack to understand per capita. But that's...
Well, I mean, look, I think he's put his troubles behind him, Smug.
Yeah, he says he's clean and sober now.
He said he's clean and sober. We all applaud that. But boy, I hope the fresh content keeps coming. There's one more here in clip 7.
These guys think that we need to run away from all values in order for us to lead. I say, fuck you. How are we getting those people back from fucking El Salvador? Because I'll tell you what, if I became president in 2 years from now, or 4 years from now, or 3 years from now, I would pick up the phone and call the fucking president of El Salvador and say, you either fucking send them back or I'm going to fucking invade. It's a fucking crime what they're doing. He's a fucking dictator thug.
Bukele or Trump?
Both.
I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough of it.
Honestly, though, if you look at the bench of the Democratic Party, guys, I think we might have just found their front runner.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He might be the most capable candidate they have.
And they keep saying they want that.
They need his messaging on illegal aliens, because he also said in that interview, he was like, what is wrong with you people? We need illegal aliens. Who do you think cleans your hotel room? Who do you think takes care of your gardens?
Very working class.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Very working class message.
Amazing.
He likes illegal immigration so much, he would invade a country to get more of it.
Send us those criminals. Which, by the way, they were criminals. Send us those criminals. I'm going to invade you if you don't send these criminals back. How else am I going to spend a month at the vineyard, not worrying about somebody taking care of my lawn back at the ranch? I mean, just incredible stuff. I can't get enough of it. I hope this is a media tour.
Yes, please. Again, Hunter Biden, if you're listening, right here.
Right here on the Ruthless Variety Program. I swear you'll have a good time.
Yeah.
We might have to set some parameters internally here to make sure that we don't have a relapse. You know, I don't want to tempt anything, but I just want that raw and cut take on everything. It's just gold, absolute gold. Remember our question of the day, how much do you think a WNBA player ought to make? Should we open the books or what should we do? You answer all of that when you like and subscribe to the Ruthless Variety Program. A big thanks to Karoline Leavitt for coming on in. One of our absolute favorites. She did a whale of a job, and she's doing an incredible job for this administration. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the program, fellas. I think we did it.
I think so. Absolute banger of an episode. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much, Karoline Leavitt, for dropping by the show. And just like Holmes said, if you have not yet, go to the YouTube, like and subscribe, because it's more fun in video. So until next time, minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you Thursday. Stay ruthless.